Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card you have, Sagittarius, is Fatima, and it says the mother of Imams. Further, it says love is my lineage and gratitude is my religion. So Fatima is the daughter of Prophet Muhammad, right? And she is, feminine energy of nurturing, of protection, of love, of compassion, of purity. Look at the color. It's white color. It's purity. It's compassion and an energy of devotion. Devotion to her family, her ancestors, her roots, her spirituality. Devotion to the wisdom she carries. Devotion to the lineage she carries. So I feel that Sagittarius, right now you might be so kind of, there is something of protecting something, protecting wisdom or knowledge or something which is sacred. It could be community or family rituals or inheritance or practices, or it could be wisdom. It could be things that your ancestors did. It could be, inheriting that wealth of artisanship or craftsmanship from your lineage and heritage and passing it down to the next generations. That's the kind of inheritance we get, which is like in the DNAs, the spiritual inheritance, the lineage that we inherit. So it could be something about that. You could be into DNAs or looking at family history or passing down traditions and rituals, preserving those customs and community things, community rituals or family rituals. And I feel that there is a lot of devotion towards that. I feel are carrying that lineage, that wisdom, and passing it down to the next generations. When they say carrying the torch or the spiritual fire, I feel that's what is this energy about, right? Ancestral wisdom being passed down, the purpose of the family or lineage or, the history, family history, the purpose, maybe the tradition, the business, the life purpose that was lived by the ancestors, passing that down. This is also about speaking the truth, being very understanding of people, compassionate, kind. There is no forceful energy in this. So I feel that you have a very calm aura around you, Sagittarius, even though you're mutable fire. But I feel that you're carrying a very compassionate aura at this point in time. Yeah, and I also feel that there is purity in your thoughts. There is purity in your gestures. There's purity in your actions, in your words. And I feel that you are holding up your values. You're staying true to that. You're not getting distracted by anything or anyone anything that people say. It's like you're all about passing your legacy. And even though you are you're Sagittarius, you have the adventure spirit. Some of you could be into teaching and mentoring other people, whether it's spiritual mentoring or whether it's any kind of mentoring of higher courses, college, research and things like that. This is also about preserving the knowledge, whether you are teaching some kind of community language or ancient languages. This could also be protector of or nurturer of people, their human rights, fighting for human rights, or mentoring people about their human rights. This is like a very maternal energy, which, through, and that is expressed through your work. Whether you're educating the next generation or you are a healthcare provider or a healthcare service giver, and you're nurturing the kids or the elderly or people of all ages, and there is something about passing the knowledge on to the next generation. For some of you, it's passing information about the roots, your family roots, your culture, history, faith, traditions, and things like that. This can also be a little bit of fighting for the rights, activist energy, protecting the rights of women, fighting for them, fighting for their rights, for the mothers, for the babies, for their health, for their education, protective of the next generation. So basically, Sagittarius, you are doing whatever you are doing, you being the adventurous fire sign, but it's like you are also very responsibly carrying or passing forward the knowledge, data, light for the next generations in a big, big way. The next card you have, Sagittarius, is Hesed, and it says right hand empathy. Right, so the right hand is the hand that blesses, right? And when they say about right hand empathy, it's like generosity, right? Giving, donation, empathy. They say that when you give with your right hand and the left hand, without the left hand noticing that the right hand is giving, that's the purest form of charity, of giving, of philanthropy and compassion, right? Because you're doing it in silence. You're not making a loud noise about it. So I do feel that right now, Sagittarius, you are being very compassionate, being very kind, especially because you're the mutable fire and you're so direct with your words, with speaking the truth when it comes to communication. This energy is just a kind reminder that, when we have grace and compassion in our words, then that kind of kindness that we extend to others by understanding them, by hearing them out, by being non-judgmental about anything, that's the kind of kindness or empathy that we need to embody. Or you probably are already embodying that, because when we help people, not fix the problem, especially when somebody comes, and tells us the problem, when we lend a ear, when we give them, food, shelter, and things like that, that's the kind of generosity I feel that you are extending to people. You could be participating in humanitarian efforts, like maybe even some areas that undergo disasters, or maybe you're just having camps, like medical camps, health camps, food drive camps, and things like that. Some of you could be actually working in environmental cleanups and caring and nurturing for the environment and keeping it cleaner for the next generation. So this is that kind of energy, which is like, when suddenly there will be, and we must have heard or seen, happen to all of us, a lot of us, where strangers will just go pay your bill, right? Or just give you a bottle of water or something like that, or they will push your car, especially when it breaks down, and then they will just lend you a helping hand over there. And these are the kind of energies that play out with this Hesed, right hand empathy. They don't expect anything back in return for their generosity. And I feel that you are in that spirit of uplifting people and not asking anything back in return. You're doing it selflessly. You're doing it unbiasedly. You're doing it even for people whom you feel that, they don't deserve it. Maybe they have wronged you in the past, but you're still open to giving and helping those people as well. Some of you could be traveling for some kind of relief efforts or humanitarian efforts, or maybe you're just, traveling to teach some kind of philosophy. Some of you could be actually in counseling and spiritual mentoring or healing professions in a big, big way. Whether it's healing people that have suffered, in their community or some natural disaster or some other personal experience, I feel that you are strongly connected with some kind of the EAD networks where you do a lot of philanthropy or charity or help people to your compassion. I feel that you could be into that as well. Yeah, I do feel that, you're not being judgmental. You're not reacting rudely or bluntly. You are, it's the kind of energy when somebody approaches you with your problem, you don't shout at them, you don't judge them, you don't get angry or mad at what they have to say. Even if somebody made a mistake, you're very kind and understanding what went wrong and offering them the suggestion or advice and, things like that. So I feel that, you could be actually some kind of activist also that's building back communities and helping people, heal them at a personal level and do things for them. Maybe create, like have those community kitchens where people come together, they cook, they talk, they heal, and things like that. So a lot of mercy, a lot of lovingness, a lot of kindness, deep love for people, deep love for humanity, deep love for generosity is coming through. So, it's that you're giving of yourself, your time, your energy, your resources freely, even advice, even your shoulder to cry on your ear. You are, open to giving a lot of yourself, your energy and resources to people who need it. The next card you have, Sagittarius, is number 28, and it says nonsense. It's time to talk sense. So the number 2, 8, or 10 are coming through important with this energy. Now, nonsense is a very deep kind of energy. Nonsense means, of course, not sense, something which is not sensical, something which is business, something which is whimsical, something which is just unexpected. So I feel that this is more about, something that does not make sense. It could be so many things that don't make sense. Whether it's, maybe it's, nonsense is an energy where there's no logic behind it, right? So I feel that it's just about non-logical stuff where, just like ideas gone wild. People just throwing ideas, just saying things which don't make any sense, right? Maybe somebody suggesting about the funds that don't make any sense, or investors that don't make any sense, or processes that don't make any sense. But the thing about nonsense is that it's like an open discussion which doesn't have structure. There is no script. People just say whatever comes to their mind. It could be like just a random discussion, even improvs or startup comics, they just say nonsense. But there is something which is underlying, which is sensible, behind what they say. There is something which is deep. So I feel that you could be in an energy of just random discussions, playfulness, not really structured, not in the mood for logic, just like say whatever comes to your mind, whether it has, a strong foundation, a base or not. And sometimes, believe it or not, these kind of thoughts and random thoughts, dreams, whatever we share, they actually lead us to something more positive, something more meaningful. So, when we're always in a structured, like say things by the book and do things by the book, it kind of gets very boring and monotonous, when we're overanalyzing things before saying it. But when we're just spontaneous with our words, with our actions, with random dates, random things, random notes, random letters, random events and things like that, when we step away from rigidity and go wild, go all wilds, right? So something deep comes out of it. And I feel that you might be in that spirit, Sagittarius, your mutable fire, and ruled by Jupiter, there is expansion, growth through communication at this point in time for you. And I feel that even though this, you might be in a spirit of just, just blurting out things, just for the sake of it, humor, fun. Sometimes it's, absurd talks and things like that. But positive solutions come out of it. If those of you know, like there was a trend on social media, which I recall, it's called, don't follow me, I'm lost. That was the trend. And people just jumped onto the trend on hashtag, don't follow me, I'm lost. So those were like really weird and absurd kind of viral trends that, that everybody enjoyed. And they just enjoyed because absurdity, not every time, it's got to be by the book and perfect and things like that. So it's just like, connecting with a larger audience through, just memes and spontaneous humor and jokes. And it could be just random workshops that you're having, Sagittarius. It could be that you're having just random music sessions, like, in festivals, or just random paint workshops or just, dueling workshops or just sitting and dueling in some place. Absurd talks, absurd humor, and a very playful, light-hearted, humorous spirit. But then there is something deep underlying it. It comes out of it. Something deep comes out of it. And I do feel that this might be deliberate attempt from your side because, it's just nonsense. Is a way to make people feel light, especially when they're down, when they're going through tough times. We can't get rigid with our thoughts like, oh, these are the rules. You should not do that. You should not say this. You should not say that. I mean, sometimes when we get absurd, sometimes when we just say things blurted out, people think that, we're easy, we're approachable, we're personable, and they feel lighter during the difficult times. So I do feel that, sometimes just absurd things bring a lot of joy, happiness, lightheartedness, sharing, and, like the laughter yoga. People just come together and just laugh, just to de-stress, just to come together as a community. I've seen a lot of artwork also that's crazy. Apart from the graffiti that's there, there's also weird artwork that I have seen, like really funny ones. One I remember is the Meow Wolf. For those of you who know what that is or look it up, it's really, it's weird in its own very quirky in its own way. So I do feel that something deep and meaningful and purposeful and beautiful comes out of these quirky meetings, or just being quirky and playful and absurd, at times. So it's just another way of dealing with life, dealing with difficult situations. And believe it or not, even in the Alice in Wonderland, her upside down logic of things actually led her to a lot of next steps, a lot of insights. So there is, it helps. Nonsense at times, just being, absurd at times definitely helps, not only add that, that spiciness in our life, that spark, that friendliness, that casualness, and that playfulness, it elevates the mood in a big, big way. So you might be in that spirit. Who knows? Let me know in the comments, Sagittarius. And the last card for today, Sagittarius, you have is number 15, and it says Devil. So this is major arcana. So the number 1, 5, and 6 are coming through strong with this energy. Now, if you look at the Devil card, the image over here is the shepherd god. That's Pan. Pan is not a devil. Pan is just raw instincts. It's like raw energy that needs to be channeled properly. That's all. In this deck, the devil energy is not really evil. It's something that you put energy into, but, there is a lack of direction. For example, like binge culture. Binge culture is that energy playing out, because whether it's social media, whether it's entertainment, whether it's food, eating excess of anything, like what is the purpose behind it? So if you can answer that question before you indulge, like, what am I getting out of this? Is this sensible? Does this add value, or is it disruptable to me? For example, Sagittarius, like you are going on an exploration cruise, right? So you're just going, traveling. What are you doing with that? Yeah, you're curious. You want to see, you want to explore culture, but do what after that? Are you doing something with it? Are you making the changes in your own life? Are you getting inspired? Are you bringing something home? Are you changing some process up? Similarly, it's the the devil energy is not asking you to stop doing things. It's like, do it in moderation. Do it with a purpose. Don't get lost. Don't get derailed. Don't get deluded. It's like you're reading, like, for example, if you were to be reading like philosophical books, you're reading, and what about it? What are you doing with it? Are you teaching people? Are you changing your belief system or something like that? If you're not implementing in your life, if there is no purpose, you're just mindlessly reading things and wasting away your time, then that doesn't make any sense, right? So growth comes when we actually use that spirit of freedom and exploration to create something valuable for us. So putting time limits on things that, that we do mindlessly. And so it's just that you don't need to be fearful of anything. I don't think you're stuck anywhere, anybody's holding you back, or you have any addictions. It's just that, yeah, you have some desires that are sensible, but are those activities, actions that you are doing. Yes, it's giving you freedom, but is it really? Is it empowering you? Are you bringing something back with the time that you're spending, reading a number of books or traveling to a number of places? So you have to be very mindful in spending your energy. So do things mindfully, do things with purpose, and even if you're indulging, make sure that something comes out of it. There should be a takeaway. What do you take away after spending that amount of time in doing a certain activity, or in eating something, or in anything that you are overindulgent in? Because at the end of it, if you ask yourself a question like, what did I get out of it? What's the takeaway? If there is nothing, then that's your devil energy playing, and that has to be channeled properly. So you have to limit the time you spend on it, limit the time of energy you put into it, whether you're talking endlessly on phone, whether you're just out there, participating and watching n number of concerts. Yeah, you're there. You're watching different kind of bands play those music instruments. But what are you doing with it? Are you playing instruments? Are you learning something? Are you implementing something in your life with it? If not, then that's a waste of your time. So that's the kind of devil energy that's being out for you here, Sagittarius. So be mindful of that. And these being general and then energies, let me know how these play out in your life or in the environment around you. And hope you enjoyed your messages. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.